जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद। जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद। श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. I apologize for coming late. Let's begin. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela chapter 8. The talks between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So we saw so far that Mahaprabhu, while traveling in South India, so the previous chapter was the beginning of South India travel. We saw Mahaprabhu's strategy of preaching. We saw Mahaprabhu's visiting Kurma Kshetra, how Kurma Brahmana was delivered, and then how Vasudev Vipra was delivered. Then Mahaprabhu continued traveling. And then in this chapter, at the beginning, we saw Mahaprabhu arrived at the temple of Jiyada Narasimha. And then after spending the night there, he continued to travel. And traveling, he came to the banks of the river Godavari. And by seeing the river Godavari, he thought it was, he remembered river Yamuna. And on the banks of Godavari were forests, and the forests reminded him of Vrindavan. So Mahaprabhu performed Sankirtan there in that forest. Then he crossed the river, went to the other side, took bath at the bathing ghat, and then he walked a few steps away from the ghat, sat down, and was performing Sankirtan there. At that time, we saw Ramananda Rai arrived in all majesty in a palanquin because he's a government officer, and he was accompanied by a procession, and also several brahmanas were chanting Vedic hymns, and there were many musical instruments being played, and Ramananda Rai arrived. Then he went inside along with all the brahmanas chanting mantras, and he took bath. He performed tarpan for the forefathers. In a ceremonial way it was going on. Meanwhile, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sitting at a distance, saw Ramananda Rai, and immediately, as soon as he saw, his mind was racing towards Ramananda Rai. He wanted to go and embrace him tightly. Why? Because Ramananda Rai is actually Vishakha Sakhi. And of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. And also Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani. So in both ways, he was, as soon as he saw, he wanted to just run and embrace Sri Ramananda Rai. But he refrained himself uh, from doing that. And he commanded his patience and just sat there. Although internally he couldn't wait, but externally he just continued to sit there. Why did he do that? Well, yeah, it was not appropriate to do that. So he just controlled himself, refrained from doing that. Meanwhile, Ramananda Rai completed his uh, you know uh, his bathing and whatever he was doing there, offering oblations and tarpan to the forefathers. All that was completed. And then he sees uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu effulgent like hundreds of suns in one place and wearing saffron. It was like morning sun, the color, the complexion, well, the color of his, first of all, he was effulgent like hundreds of suns, and he was wearing saffron cloth, which was like the morning sun. Hmm? And he was so attracted, he could not uh, help but go to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was still sitting, and he offered obeisances. He fell in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu saw Ramananda Rai bowing down before him, he stood up and he said, Krishnair Matirastu, right? No, he said Krishna, 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 Krishna. Or he said, no, chant Krishna, chant Krishna. And then when Ramananda Rai got up, Mahaprabhu asked him, uh, are you Ramananda Rai? Then Ramananda Rai said, yes, I am your lowly servant. I belong to the Shudra community. So as soon as Mahaprabhu confirmed that it was Ramananda Rai, he just immediately took Ramananda Rai into his embrace. Tightly he embraced him. And when Ramananda Rai was embraced by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both Mahaprabhu's love for Ramananda Rai, that means Krishna's love for Vishakha Gopi, and also Sri Ramananda Rai's love for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their eternal love, just awakened. And then they almost fainted in that ecstasy of love. And then they even fell down, actually. They fell down in that state. And there were symptoms of ecstasy manifested on their bodies. They were stunned. Uh, no words were coming. There were tears. There was their hairs were standing on end. The bodies were trembling, and uh, they couldn't speak anything. In a choked voice, all they could say was Krishna, 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 Krishna. And both were still laying down there in embrace. Meanwhile, the Brahmanas who had come with Ramananda Rai, they were all confused. What's going on here? Why is this sannyasi weeping, embracing a Shudra? That was one question. And the other question was, Ramananda Rai is a very learned, scholarly person, and learned, scholarly person, and very grave. Why is he losing his calm, his balance, and weeping, embracing this sannyasi? They couldn't understand. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could understand. So, seeing that these Vaidika Brahmanas, so in the purport, Srila Prabhupada there said that they were not devotees. These Brahmanas were not devotees. Whereas the ecstatic symptoms exhibited by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai were of the highest, uh, you know, were belong to the highest level of, bhakti, prema bhakti, that could not be understood by non-devotees. So what did Mahaprabhu do? He refrained, right? Immediately, you know, both of them got up, right? And sat down right there in that place. And then we saw there's a conversation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Just right there. They just sat down right there and they were talking. Mahaprabhu said that Mahaprabhu said that I heard about you from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He he made a great endeavor to convince me to come and see you. He told me about your wonderful qualities and he insisted that I must see you. Actually, I came here just to see you only. And it is a it is wonderful that without making any effort on my part, I met you here. Then what did Ramananda Rai say? Ramananda Rai said that I am a servant of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Actually, what he said was, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya treats me like his servant and is such a nice master that even though I'm not with him, still he's taking care of me. He's always thinking of my well being. He's trying to do good for me. Paroksha. Paroksha means, Aksha means in front of your eyes. Paroksha means not in front of your eyes. He's somewhere else. I'm not in front of him, but even though I'm not in front of him, still he's thinking about me. He's taking care of me like a good master. How? He sent you to me. And because of him only, now I got your darshan. And because I got your darshan today, I understand that my life is perfected. Then he also said that uh, I can also understand that you are showing special mercy on Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. The proof of your special mercy on Sarvabhauma is your embracing me, a lowly Shudra. I am the lowest of the Shudra. Shudra is the lowest in the Varnashram. But amongst Shudras also I am the lowest. You are Lord Narayan himself. That means the topmost is embracing the lowest. Your embracing me is the proof of your special mercy on Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Why? Because I am Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's servant. So to please Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, you are embracing me because he is so dear to you. You are showing special mercy on him. So to please him, you are embracing me. So your embracing me is the proof of your special mercy to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Then you may ask, why Mahaprabhu is showing special mercy? because Sarvabhauma has that type of love for you. His love is so great that he has conquered your heart by his love, and therefore you're showing him his your special mercy. Then, so one more thing Ramananda Rai said was that, so he said, my Lord, you are Ishvara, you are the Supreme Lord. Actually, so you don't fear transgressing the rules of the Vedas. In other words, the Lord is beyond all rules and regulations. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Nanavaptam avaptavyam varta evacha karmani. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. I have no duties to perform in all the three worlds. Krishna is saying to Arjun. So he is not required to follow the rules and regulations that are given in the Vedas. Of course, although he is not required, still he follows. Because he says, if I don't follow, then everyone will follow my example and they will all go to hell. There will be Varna Sankara if I don't follow. So, although I don't have to follow, I don't need to follow, still I follow. So, here what Ramananda Rai is saying, you are Supreme Ishvara, right? So, you don't fear the prohibitions in Vedas. Vedas prohibit a sannyasi to intimately associate with a materialistic person, to even see a materialistic person. I am a government officer dealing with shillings and pennies. I mean, I'm dealing with money and dealing with power. I'm, with material dealings. And the Vedas forbid you from associating with a materialistic person like me. And still, what to speak of looking at me, you are embracing me. So, why the Lord is embracing? We discussed that also. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explained that, yes, if you're actually a pure devotee, then you should not consider whether you're Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that is immaterial. But still, that means nobody should follow the Vedas or what? There is a standard. Everyone should follow Vedas. Actually, the fact is, even if you are a pure devotee, externally, there is two things, external and internal. Internally, you will be practicing Raganuga Bhakti, where you have nothing to do with the rules and regulations of this world or nothing. But externally, so as not to disturb the society, especially when you are living in society and people are looking up to you as a leader, if you behave in a way where you are transgressing the Vedic rules and regulations, taking you as an example, they will also transgress. You don't need to follow rules and regulations because you're a pure devotee. So you won't get any reaction. But those people who are following you, they don't have the qualification for Shuddha Bhakti and they are following you, they'll go to hell for breaking the rules. So therefore, it is always, even Lord Krishna says to Arjun, same thing. Who is Arjun? Arjun is a Shuddha Bhakta, eternal associate of Krishna. But still Krishna is saying, you're a Kshatriya, you fight on the battlefield. Why? Set an example to others. Right? You should set an example to others. Always. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all our acharyas, right? So, to set a proper example in society, they follow the rules and regulations in society. Although internally, you should not feel even a little bit dependent on those rules. Oh, if I don't follow these rules, then I will go to hell, I will get a sinful reaction. That is not the concern of pure devotees. Their concern is not if I don't follow these rules, I'll get a sin. That's not why they follow. They don't depend on sins and, punya, papa. They have nothing to do with all that. Nevertheless, externally, to set example to the world, they follow. As long as those rules and regulations are not interfering with the discharge of their bhakti, they'll follow all rules and regulations. When these rules and regulations become an obstacle in the natural flow of their spontaneous flow of their bhakti, then they will obviously they will prefer bhakti, right? That's when they transgress. But in general, they don't. So we see in the case of Ramananda Rai also the same thing, right? Of course, also from another angle, a Vaishnava never thinks himself a Vaishnava. He's always thinking, who is Ramananda Rai? Ramananda Rai is the personal expansion of Srimati Radharani, Ashtasakis, the gopis. They're the personal expansions. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitabhis Tabhirya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabhi. Nijarupataya Kalabhi. Right? Her own personal expansions. Who? The gopis. Srimati Radharani's personal expansions. So, how he becomes a Shudra? But there's a lesson to be taught. That is why. Huh? So that we saw. Let's see what happened after that. Um, what we saw was, uh, yeah, you 35. You are the supreme personality of Godhead Narayan himself, and I am only a government servant interested in materialistic activities. Indeed, I am the lowest among men of the fourth caste. You do not fear the Vedic injunctions stating that you should not associate with a Shudra. You are not contemptuous of my touch, although in the Vedas you are forbidden to associate with Shudras. You are the supreme personality of Godhead Himself. Therefore, no one can understand your purpose. Yes, one more thing he said was, you are the Supreme Lord. Who can know what is your purpose in what you do? Who can understand? It is said even of a Vaishnavas you cannot understand. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra. What is that next part? Um, Something like Bujhaya na Bujhaya. Something like even if you try to understand, you cannot understand. The actions and the thoughts of a Vaishnava you cannot understand, right? What to speak of a Vaishnava, even a Kshatriya? A Kshatriya's quality is such that what he is thinking in his heart, nobody will know, because he may be planning to kill someone internally, but externally he will be so calm and smiling. You cannot understand. His heart will be sharp like a sword, like a knife, ready to cut, but externally he will be so pleasing, so smiling. You cannot tell. So if that is possible on the material platform, and what to speak of the Supreme Lord? Who can understand what he's thinking in his heart? So Ramananda Rai is saying, my Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who can understand your purpose in what you do? What did the Lord do? He embraced Ramananda Rai, who was supposedly from a Shudra community. And this is forbidden in the Vedas. And the Lord who comes yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. He comes to re-establish the principles of dharma. So dharma is coming from where? From the Vedas only. He is himself coming to establish, and he's also breaking the rules in dharma. What is this? So Ramananda Rai is saying, who can understand your purpose? Even if you're doing something like that, there will be some special reason behind that. So who can understand? And you are the Supreme Lord, right? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Therefore, no one can understand your purpose. By your mercy, you are touching me, although this is not sanctioned by the Vedas. Uh, so also we saw that why the Lord touched him. It is the mercy of the Lord which pushed him to embrace Ramananda Rai. It is your mercy, like that. Then I think we have to start the next one, text 38 today. Ama nistarite tomar iha agamana paramaday. This also we read. Paramaday alu tumi patita pavana. You have come here The purpose of your coming up. So first he said, who can understand your purpose? And now Ramananda Rai himself is giving the purpose. What is the purpose? He's saying, your purpose of coming here is to deliver me. Ama nistarite tomar iha agamana, parama dayalu tumi patita pavana. So why you wanted to deliver me? First thing is, nobody can understand your purpose. Then what is your purpose? Nobody can understand, but Ramananda Rai is understanding. Your purpose of coming here is to deliver me. Then why you wanted to deliver me? Because you are extremely merciful and you are patita pavana. Wherever you see patita, patita means fallen, most fallen, you go to deliver that person. This is your nature because you're most merciful. That is why you have come to deliver me. Not because I am so qualified or anything. My qualification is my fallen state, right? Because you are patita pavana, because you are parama dayalu, therefore you have come to deliver me. You have come here specifically to deliver me. You are so merciful that you alone can deliver all fallen souls. So this we also read the purport the other day. Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. So Patita Pavana. That's why this is Srila Prabhupada quoted this. Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar. What is the purpose for Mahaprabhu's avatar? To deliver the fallen. Same thing Ramananda Rai is also saying. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's specific mission is to deliver the fallen souls. And who is fallen? Everyone is fallen in Kali Yuga. Everyone is fallen. That means Mahaprabhu has come for everyone, for all of us. And then also, you may say, oh, why all are fallen? There are still some people who are following the Vedas. So then here Srila Rupa Goswami is saying that the so-called followers of Vedic religion, right? Uh, no, Mahaprabhu is saying, not Rupa. Mahaprabhu in his instructions to Rupa Goswami is saying that the so-called followers of Vedic principles in Kali Yuga, even though it appears like they're following, they just do it formally, right? Mukhe, like they recite Vedic mantras with their lips, whereas their activities are opposite. Veda Nishiddha Papa Kore. They do sinful activities which are prohibited by the Vedas, which are forbidden by the Vedas. They do those activities, although with their mouth they are chanting Vedic mantras. Then is this dharma? No dharma. Therefore, uh, everyone is a candidate in Kali Yuga to receive the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he is Patita Pavana. So another we saw a symptom of Kali Yuga is people profess to belong to a particular religion, but there is no spirit. What is the purpose of religion? The purpose of religion is to reconnect us with the Supreme Lord. How can there be a religion without God? What is this? So we discussed that also the other day. You take it whether it is Islam, Hindu, Christianity, it does not matter. This is symptom of Kali Yuga. No one follows the principles that are enunciated in the scriptures, religious scriptures. Scriptures say something, they are not following that. Still, they are going around calling themselves as Christians, Muslims, or Hindus. This is the disease of Kali Yuga. So then, what is the solution? Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevalam. That's why this Hare Krishna movement is not meant for the Hindus or for Indians. No, it is for everyone. Everyone, if you are a human being, you should have dharma. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. Without dharma, man is as good as pashu, animal. And what is dharma? Dharma means you have to follow the injunctions given in the scriptures. If you're not following that, then how you can call yourself as dharmic or belonging to a particular dharma? So without, it is already said in Kali Yuga, nobody is following dharma. So without following dharma, everyone is animal. Then everyone is a candidate. There's only one solution. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Namaiva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. But for you to do this Harinam 24 by 7 with full faith, taking full shelter, जैसे they say, डूबते हुए के लिए तिनके का सहारा, right? How will someone who is drowning in the ocean, He will take shelter of even a small speck, small piece of wood. If he sees, he will hold on to that as if that is going to save him. That means he becomes so desperate. Like that, when everyone is on the animal platform, and when the medicine is given to us, the medicine of the holy name, how should we take it? Like that drowning person holding on to it. This is life or death for me. If I take hold of this, this is going to save me. Otherwise, I'm going to die. That's how one should take shelter of Harinam. If you are taking shelter of Harinam like that, yes, that is sufficient. You don't need anything else. But if you're not doing that, then all the rest of the time when you're not taking shelter of Harinam directly or any other limbs of bhakti directly, so Harinam, you're chanting, Srila Prabhupada said, your book distribution is also, right, kirtan only, because you're spreading, you're chanting, you're speaking. That is also kirtan only. So if you're engaged and maintaining temples so that you're worshipping the deities in the temple, this is Sankirtan movement. So that when you go and you preach to people, for them there should be a place where they can come and they can grow in bhakti. So they're connected. All four missions are connected. They're not independent. So the people, the temples have to be maintained. After they get the book, they have to have a place. So the temples have to be maintained. So that service is also Harinam Sankirtan, isn't it? So in this way, you connect yourself with this. And if you're doing this, you have dedicated your life completely to serving this mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to this Sankirtan Yagya, then 24 by 7, no interruption. No interruption. The definition must be satisfied. Then, and also without expecting anything else. Not that by doing this now I'll become liberated or this or no. Only because mm, I'm a servant. This is my duty. I must, I belong to my master. My existence is meant for the service of my master. If my master is pleased, that's my perfection. That's all. With this attitude, if you're doing, no need of any dharma. You don't need any other dharma. You can do only this. But how many are able to do that? Then what should we do? Then we should do dharma also. Who is saying? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Goswamis have given us literature. Rup Sanatan Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Raghunath Bhatt, Raghunath Das Goswami. So in there, they have given us what type of dharma, those who want to become pure devotees, how much should they follow, what type of dharma they should follow, what samskaras they should follow. So we should follow all those things as recommended by our acharyas. Not that everything that is there we have to follow. No. Whatever is recommended by the acharyas, our goal is to come to pure devotional service. So why I am saying this? Because in the purport it is said, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. In Kali Yuga, there is nobody is following religion, all hypocrisy. Then what should you do? The solution is Harinam only. But for you to do that Harinam, you need some help. That help is this Daiva Varnashram system. Follow right your duties. Simplify your lifestyle. Come to the mode of goodness, so that you can come to the standard of taking full shelter of Harinam. Directly now we are not able to take care. Why? Because we are being influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. So that's not allowing us to take shelter of Harinam continuously. But if you are able to take shelter, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. For you to do that, you will need Dhrida Shraddha. You need firm faith in Krishna. For that, again, you will need mode of goodness, hearing Shastra in the mode of goodness, mercy of Vaishnavas. So the point is Mahaprabhu is Patita Pavana. Ramananda is saying, Mahaprabhu, your avatar is meant for Patita Pavana. Who can understand your purpose, what you are doing? I understand. Your purpose of coming here is to deliver me. And why you want to deliver me? Because you are Patita Pavana. You are most merciful, Parama Dayalu. That's why you have come to deliver me. Mahanta Swabhava Ei Tarite Pamara. निज कार्य नहीं तबु जानो तारो घर महांत स्वभाव ए Mahanta, Mahant means saintly person. What is the nature of a saintly person? Tarite Pamara. Pamara means again Patita, fallen. So it is the nature of a saintly personality to deliver the fallen persons. Their heart, remember yesterday I was telling you, or not yesterday, in the previous Chaitanya Charitamrita class, that when your bhakti becomes mature, when your bhakti, when your love for Krishna becomes mature, that love, mature love, is manifested in the form of compassion. What happens is that love for Krishna, see, for bhakti to sprout in your heart, heart is compared to a field. A field. You have, I think most of you have experienced gardening. So, when you want to plant something, what is the first thing that you do? You have to prepare the soil first, isn't it? The soil has to be nice and soft so that when you plant the seed, it will be able to grow. If it is hard and dry, the seeds won't come up, they won't sprout. So the soil has to be nice and soft. Then, when you plant the seed, it will, and you water it, it will just sprout and it will come up. So, similarly, our heart is like field. For that bhakti seed to sprout, it has to be soft. And because of bhakti, because of bhakti, your heart becomes even softer and softer and softer once the seed is planted, and that bhakti makes your heart really soft. When you develop love of God, it's like butter soft, like butter. Now, this butter, when it comes in touch with the fire, tapatraya means what? Tapa means heat. Traya means the threefold miseries. Tapatraya means the pain. Pain is compared to burning, right? So when this soft heart of a premi bhakta comes in contact with the threefold miseries experienced by the conditioned souls, he does not have any tapatraya. A devotee has no material misery. He is already transcendental. He has no material misery. But when his heart comes in touch with the miseries of the conditioned souls, which is like hot, burning, and this butter soft heart melts, like the butter melts. And when it melts, it starts flowing towards that person. So that what is this heart actually? Now that heart is nothing but bhakti only. That's why it is so soft. So because of mature love for Krishna, that heart has become that, because it's nothing but love now, right? So it is so soft like butter, and when this comes in contact with the suffering of the conditioned souls, it melts and it flows. Like there is actually, when he sees the suffering of conditioned souls, there's chitta vikara. Chitta vikara means there's transformation in his heart. What is the transformation? He feels pained. For himself, there is no pain. But when he sees the suffering of the conditioned souls, and what is that suffering? That suffering is forgetfulness, turning away from the Supreme Lord. Because of turning away from the Supreme Lord, all his sufferings are there. And seeing this, he cannot bear that pain, this devotee. And his heart melts and it starts flowing towards that person in the form of compassion. He wants to do anything possible to help this person turn to Krishna so that now he does not have to suffer this misery. There's only one way to come out of this misery: turn to Krishna. So that is why here Ramananda Rai is saying it is the nature of Mahantas to deliver the Pamara. Pamara means Patitas, those who are turned away from Krishna. They cannot stand to see them suffer. Their hearts are flowing towards them uh, as compassion. So they'll do whatever they can to deliver that. This is the nature of a saintly person. महांत स्वभाव ऐ तारिते पामरा निज कार्य नाही तबु जान तार घर. He has no purpose in going to someone's home. It's not like, somebody goes to a rich man's home because normally they're expecting something from him. Oh, you go to a king's place. Oh, the king will give me something, right? Like, I don't know if I should give this example. It just came to my mind, I'm telling you. Like Sudama Brahmana's wife, she said, just go and meet Krishna. Why? Because they're in such poverty. You don't have to ask him anything, just go. He will give, right? Of course, her concern was her children, they were all starving as a mother. So she said, so like that, when you go to generally, the tendency is why you go to someone's home, like a wealthy person's home, why will you go? Thinking that he can do some help. But this saintly person also goes. Mahanta is also going, but he has no personal, uh, you know, he has no purpose for himself to fulfill in going to that saintly person's house. I mean, to that, well, any person. Why wealthy person? Any person. He goes to householders actually. Houses, who'll have houses? Householders only have houses. Brahmacharis don't have houses. Vanaprastha sannyasis don't have houses. They live in ashrams, temples, right? Householders have their homes. So Mahantas, they are so compassionate. It is their nature to deliver the poor hearted people, right? And although they have nothing to ask from them, still they go to their persons, to those Pamara's houses. Why they go? To deliver them only. Like Sukadev Goswami. Sukadev Goswami went to householders' homes, but he would stay there only for as long as it took to milk the cow, maximum half an hour or something. Whatever time it takes to milk a cow, that much. Not even half an hour, maybe less. He would just stay that long. Why he's going? He's going to deliver those people. This is the nature of Mahanta. Mahanta swabhava ei tarite pamara nija karya nahi. He does not have any personal work there. Nija karya nahi tabu. In spite of not having any work with that person, he goes. Tabu jana tara ghara. He goes to that person's house. It is the general practice of all saintly people to deliver the fallen. Therefore, they go to people's houses, although they have no personal business there. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door. He does not beg simply because he's hungry. This householder should remember, right? Householder should remember this. Because the sannyasi is coming to my house, and after some time we become familiar, thinking that I'm doing so much for him, I'm giving this. If we, as soon as that thought comes, finished, right? A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door. He does not beg simply because he's hungry. His real purpose is to enlighten the occupant of every house by preaching Krishna consciousness. And of course, sannyasis, a real sannyasi will do it for this purpose only, not for any other purpose. Sannyasis also should remember this, right? If he's a sannyasi, then that's what he will do, right? His real purpose, the purpose of going to a householder's house is not to take anything from them. Even if he's taking, that taking is to engage that person in, I'll tell you one story here, quick. It is said that during Chaturmasya, the 4 months, traveling sannyasis, they don't travel because those 4 months are the rainy season. So in rainy season, because in Vedic society, you have dirt roads, right? And when you walk, dirt paths actually. So when you walk and they're traveling in jungles and here and there sannyasis, it's not it's not convenient to travel in the rainy season. So therefore, during those 4 months of rainy season, they stop in some village and stay in someone's home, some brahmana's home. They just stay there. And that village people, they serve during those 4 months. They come and they feed them, they serve them. So all this saintly person is doing is just accepting services, whatever they're giving. But because he is actually living by the standard of a sadhu, simply by accepting their service, he is doing them so much good. In that context, Srila Prabhupada says, but if you are not a sadhu, if you're not living by the standard of a sadhu, and if you take services from others, you will fall down. You will have to take all that sinful reaction. So that is also there. So, yes, sannyasis also have to strictly follow their dharma, and their purpose of going should be to enlighten the householders, because householders generally they are caught up in their business, family, so many problems. You get distracted from the focus. What is the goal of life? So to remind us, to to inspire us, to encourage us from time to time, sadhus come. Srila Prabhupada would travel all over the world. Why? Just spend one night in one temple and just go. Why? Because by his coming, now they're all once again rejuvenated, right? Recharged, waiting for the next trip. After 1 year, Prabhupada will come. Until then, they're charged. And again. So that's how sannyasi is supposed to travel like this, to inspire the devotees in all the centers, in all communities. That's the purpose. So similarly, when they go to grihasthas' homes also for this purpose only, to deliver them, to inspire them in spiritual life. And then from the householder's side, how should the householder think? Oh, this is my great fortune that I got an opportunity to serve a sannyasi, to serve a sadhu. And they should do to the best of their capacity, they should try to serve. Not that, oh, I am providing, so now, you become familiar, right? No. So here. His real purpose is to enlighten the occupant of every house by preaching Krishna consciousness. A sannyasi does not abandon his superior position and become a beggar just for the sake of begging. No. Similarly, a person in householder life may be very important. So, for sannyasi, what is the instruction? He does not abandon his superior position and become a beggar just for the sake of begging. Sannyasi should not do that. Right? And similarly, a person in householder life may be very important, but he may also voluntarily take to the mendicant way of life. Okay, so householder, that means mendicant way of life means now he's not a householder anymore, unless you're a brahmana. A brahmana is allowed. But brahmana is allowed means he is not doing any other job now. He is only living by bhiksha. Not that I'm also working and I'm earning my livelihood, but because I got second initiation, I'm a Brahmana, now I'll take donation also, I will work also. No, not like that. Ultimately, our purpose is we want to we want to purify our hearts, not that look for, you know, justify through Shastra so that I can get sense gratification in the end. What is the what is the uh, we are cheating ourselves if we do that. A person in householder life may be very important, but he may also voluntarily take to the mendicant way of life. Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were ministers, but they voluntarily accepted the mendicant's life in order to humbly preach Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message. Yes, that means householders can also become sannyasis, mendicants. It is said about them, त्यक्त्वा तूर्णमशेषमण्डलपति श्रेणीं सदा तुच्छवान् भूत्वा दीनगणेशकौ करुणया कौपीनकण्ठाश्रितौ. That means Tyaktva Turnam Ashesha Mandala Pati Shrenim. That means Tyaktva, they gave up. What did they give up? Ashesha Mandalapati, right? They were the landlords of unlimited, you know, land. They had so much wealth. And how they gave up? Sada Tuchavat. You know, here it is said like after. See, we have some attachments. But does anyone ever become attached to his stool? No. After you release, you don't even want to look at it. Like that, they gave up such opulence and wealth and position, considering it to be tuchhavat. Most, not even turning back and looking at it. Not that after giving up, oh, why did I give up? I should not have done it. Never. Sometimes devotees join the temple full time, giving up everything, and after some time they regret that I should have done that, I should have done this, I should have done my studies, or I should have done job for some years and this and that. Rupa Goswami didn't do like that. That is why that is why it is not recommended that you immediately drop everything and jump. No, you wait for your shraddha to build. When you get strong shraddha, then you join full time, because then whether there's happiness, distress, profit, loss, humility, insult, insult, praise, it does not matter. You know why you did that, so you hold on to Krishna. But for you to do that, you need that type of faith in Krishna. So that is why it is said, stay where you are and build your Shraddha first. Nice, strong Shraddha. Instead of immaturely dropping everything, going, right, dropping everything and becoming a full time devotee and then regretting why I, you know, dropped. And even regretting also, then you're not able to perform your bhakti. That's the problem. You're not even able to perform your bhakti. You're always thinking, you wore saffron and you're thinking, I wish I were married and looking at ladies, maybe I can marry. No need, that's not
Can't
required.
do justice either sides.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
Na
yeah,
udhar hai, na idhar hai.
so that's called, you become a pretender, mithyachari. Mithyachari. Externally, you are showing that you have renounced everything, but in your heart you're maintaining all these desires and even secretly fulfilling those desires. So it is said about Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Tyaktva Turnam Ashesha Mandala Pati Shrenim Sada Tuchavat Bhutva Dina. Why they did that? Bhutva Dina Ganesha Ka Karunaya. Dina, again, Patita, people, right? For out of their compassion, Karunaya, compassion for the fallen people, they have given up their opulence, their position, their wealth, as if it is insignificant. And how did they dress themselves? Kaupina kanthashritau. All they are wearing is one kaupina. That's all. Kaupin. No, that means nothing. No assets. Although the Goswamis were very aristocratic, on the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became mendicants just to deliver the fallen souls. One should also consider that those who engage in the missionary activities of the Krishna consciousness movement are under the guidance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, those who are those who engage in the missionary activities of the Krishna consciousness movement are under the guidance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are not actually beggars. Their real business is to deliver fallen souls. So this is a lesson both for the preachers and the people who are approached by the preachers. Preachers also should remember, my business is not to go and collect money and increase bank balance. That's not the purpose. We are not beggars. Even when we go and ask for donations, our intention should always be how this person can be connected with Krishna through this donation. How to bring this person to how to deliver this person. And similarly, when a preacher approaches me, I should remember this preacher is under the direct guidance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not a beggar who's coming. So don't mistreat them, thinking that they are beggars, they have come to you to beg for some money. No. Therefore, they may go from door to door just to introduce a book about Krishna consciousness so that people can become enlightened by reading. Formerly, brahmacharis and sannyasis used to beg from door to door. At the present moment, especially in the Western countries, a person may be handed over to the police if he begs from door to door. So, in the Western countries, if you go door to door, you can be arrested. In Western countries, begging is considered criminal. Members of the Krishna consciousness movement have no business begging.
Yeah.
Instead, they work very hard to introduce some literature about Krishna consciousness so that people can read them and be benefited. But if one gives some contribution to a Krishna conscious man, he never refuses it. So, so this purity has to be there in the preacher's heart also. And even when there is such purity, when people treat them as beggars, then that's fault on their part, both sides. Okay. So we can stop there. Thank you all so much for patiently staying long. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much, Mataji.
Mataji, thank you for your
Thank
patience. Hare
No,
Krishna.
no, no, not patient. You are giving a nice class. Listening is not giving a class now free. It's not easy.
Actually, Mataji, it's easier to speak than it is to hear. I think so. Because
No, both.
No, Mataji, not for us. Hare
thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Ki
jai.
jai, Sri
Samaveta
Prabhupada.
Gaur Bhakta Vrind ki jai.
Ki jai.
Hare Krishna.